My masters, this information and this diagram is absolutely going to blow your mind and change your life. It is going to change the relationship with yourself and therefore relationship with other people. So I learned this, I've heard about it a few different ways, but as with everything, I take all the information and I rejig it. I add my own essence, my own salt and pepper, my own herbs and spices, and I make it mine, because it's not just one thing that fixes everything. I feel like there's lots of little pieces of the puzzle that most coaches miss. And I really want to give you a wholesome approach to life, to finances, business, physique, everything. That's what's being reflected back to me lately is, Di, you don't really specialize in one area. You're kind of doing really well in all of them. So I want to share with you one of the parts that absolutely opened my eyes to the relationship with myself and the role that I play and the dialogue that I use with myself, and then therefore the relationship dynamic outside of myself. So in this module, we've been talking about the invisible cords that's holding us stuck to people, places, situations, all sorts of different things. So what I want to discuss with you today is the drama triangle. So in every single relationship that you have, there is a dynamic. There's a blueprint to that relationship. And even though you don't know it, the pattern of that relationship, including the one with yourself, most importantly, is the same. It's like your fingerprint. Unless you do something to change it, it will not change. It's unique to you, and you run the pattern or the blueprint with that person or with yourself. So the drama triangle basically summarizes the roles that you would play in the dynamic of a relationship. And when I learned this, my relationships became so much more solid. And hold on, I've got to close that down so it doesn't beep the whole way through. My relationships and my bonds with the people close to me became so much more real and solid. Not this flaky, dramatic drama crap that I was living for so many years, just really deep, genuine and authentic connection to self, and then therefore others. So let me share this with you. This is going to be a quick video here. We're going to share the screen, share the drama triangle, and this is what I've come up with. I'm going to take some time in the coming weeks to change these photos to me and Michelle, but for now, I didn't want to hold off because I haven't got the perfect photo. So you will see this come out again, and we'll put it on your dashboard, but we'll update the photos to me and Michelle because we know you love looking at us. So this is the concept, right? In each relationship, there is a dynamic, and you will play one of these roles depending on who is in the relationship, who is in the dynamic, and what part they play. So the power is in the awareness and consciously understanding what you do in a pattern and what you do subconsciously, and how's that serving you? Is it being resourceful? So here's some examples. You'll play one of these roles. So the persecutor. The persecutor's actions is someone that blames others. It's constant criticism. They're very dominating, and they're rule followers. But not just any rules, it has to be their rules. They're the type of people that often have two sets of rules. One set of rules for themselves, so they'll go out and be lazy and won't follow up on things. But if you're working for them or you're in a relationship dynamic with them, it's like, this is the way, and you must do this, 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 and this. And you're standing back and going, hold on, sweetheart. You're telling me to do this, and these are your rules, but I'm looking in behind the scenes at your life, and you ain't following any of them. But anyway, so you want to think of the persecutor, someone that's usually quite aggressive, bully, domineering. The language that they would use is, it's your fault. You're not doing it right. Like there's always some sort of criticism, and they're persecuting you. They're going mad on you. They're attacking in their nature. Stop being so selfish, like telling you, stop it, stop making it all about you and persecuting you or criticizing you for that. And do as I say, not as I do. Now here, I wanted to share a few of the things that happened to me. So I had an event recently that took me deep within myself, and I really had to go through the processes of some shadow work, like dropping deep into my shadow as I was feeling betrayed and unheard and unseen and unacknowledged and all those things. So it took me deep into the shadow work. And I actually had this conversation with myself. And it was one morning I woke up, because my pattern was to be like, oh, I'm tough and fine and positive and I'll be okay. But something deeper in me stirred, and I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning, like sobbing, crying. So it was obviously the event, the energy, the change, the transition flowing through me. So I woke up and I was crying, and I just listened to the dialogue in my head, not crying, sobbing, like just letting go, like I'd broken up with a boyfriend or something. And the words that were going around in my head, I just was observing them, because I really wanted to understand why all of a sudden I'd given so much meaning to the event that had occurred on the outside of me. So I took some notes, and I've written them down here for you because I wanted to be able to share them. And what I noticed as I was observing myself was that I did all these roles in the matter of a couple of minutes. Like it flowed through me, probably maybe an hour. And the language that I used when I was persecuting the event and myself and the external things that had happened to me, the feelings that I felt were betrayed, angry, resentful, used, taken advantage of. And the language that I would use was like, how dare they do that? It's fine. I'll do it on my own. I don't need anybody else. So that persecutor language, can't trust anyone. I'll just do it. I'm fine. Leave me alone. Shut down. Everybody go away. I've done it on my own before. I'll do it again. And I was listening to this language. I was like, that's not really my nature. Where's that coming from? And I was like, I'm in persecutor, but I was doing it with myself. I was running this triangle within myself. So the next thing was that when I started persecuting myself, within the next couple of minutes, I went into victim. So the victim, first of all, staying with this drama triangle in the diagram here, seeks validation externally. So what validation are you seeking externally? Are you one of these people that's always asking, is that okay? Or you cook something and you're just seeking external validation all the time. You avoid making decisions because you feel like you always make the wrong one. It's really hard for you to make decisions. Has dependent relationships, so you depend on people and you feel trapped when you're doing victim, when you be victim, when you're feeling victim, doing victim. The language that the victim use, are you sure it's okay? Are you okay? Is that okay? Watch how my body language change. What do you think? What do you think of that? I mean, I don't know. If you're going out for dinner somewhere, the victim would never say, oh, I'd love to go to Mexico, and be like, oh, I heard the Mexican place was really good. Would you mind? Do you like Mexican? Would that be okay? Like victimizing themselves. I'll go if you go. Same idea if you're going out for dinner. You can tell a lot by someone when you go out for dinner with them. I'll go if you go. If you want to go, I'll go, but never really doing what they want. Why me? Why is this happening to me? Why does this always happen to me? Pardon me. I can't believe you did that to me. And why bother? I'm just going to give up. So when I went into victim mode in my head, I was sick with worry, like feeling sick, feeling like I had done something wrong, feeling like it was all my fault. Felt sad. I wanted people to know. It's like when you break up with a boyfriend, and I remember doing this in the past as well. I just wanted him to know how much he had hurt me. I really wanted him to know how much his behavior and what he did to me, listen to the language, did to me, had hurt me. And I spent a good couple of days, probably weeks, if I'm being honest, like looking around for messages that I could send for Facebook. I didn't realize I was doing this. I realize it now looking back at it, messages that I could send, Facebook messages, posts that I could put up where I could just drip feed him the information of how much he hurt me and what he did to me. So it's not fair is another one. I tend to be in victim a lot if I'm not aware of it. I'll go into victim mode and nobody likes me and I'm not good enough. So I know it pretty well. It's not fair. You don't understand. No one understands. I go through phases like they just don't get it. People don't get it. They don't get me. So I'm sitting in victim. No one listens to me and no one gives a shit. No one cares. So that's victim. And then as I was going through my stuff, listening to myself, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is interesting. I'm in victim now. But it was so powerful because I could have this awareness around it and I could choose it. And I want the same for you internally and in your external relationships. So the other one that comes with this is rescuer. So you'll play one of these roles in each of your relationships, and you're going to have a dominant state. You're going to find that you're mostly persecutor, like pointing the finger, kind of bully, aggressive personality. You're a bit more of a victim, like I have been in the past, a softer nature, questioning, always seeking approval. Oh my God, that's so me. Well, seeking approval, overachieving to get approval, all the thing. You're going to be maybe dominant in that one, like I am. Or I flick between a lot, rescuer and victim. Look at my job, right? I rescue. Well, I need to make sure I don't get pulled into this drama triangle. So in coaching terms, very professional, very scientific, we say don't jump in the pool with them. You don't want to jump in the pool. If someone's having an emotional outburst or some sort of internal representation or dialogue or trauma or grief, as their friend, you kind of feel it with them and you go through it with them. And I'll say that to some of you that are my clients and my friends, when you call and I'm like, oh my God, this just happened. I'm like, do you want friend Diane or coach Diane? Because they're two very different people. If I'm your friend, sometimes I'm going to be more inclined to get pulled into the drama, jump into the pool with you. But if I'm your coach, it's my job to see your blind spots and point them out and support you. And I mean, even as a friend, it's our job to support each other, but it's, just a different boundary, a different line. So with the rescuer, this person gains self-esteem by helping someone. Like you actually get self-worth by helping somebody else. So you're looking around, you're looking at all these fires you can put out all the time, and it's really exhausting and it's really tiring because then people don't appreciate you and they expect it. And you're putting out these fires, you're very altruistic. So you just give. Altruistic is the opposite to narcissistic. So you've got these narcissistic, which you've all heard of and probably all experienced. Altruistic is the polar opposite. When you're so nice, it's kind of sickly. You'll never say what you think and you're just so gentle and kind and sweet, but it's not true. It's not your true honesty. It's a mask that you'll wear. You're hiding behind it. All these are masks, actually. You'll feel like a failure when someone complains. I had this at the beginning of my business. When someone said something wasn't right or they complained about something, I thought it was my fault and I had to fix it and I had to fix them and I had to refund their money or I had to do something to fix it. Whereas now, because I'm not getting pulled into the drama of it, I'm just like, oh, well, thank you for the feedback. I'll go ahead and have the team look at that or put it in my calendar to fix, but there's no emotional charge to fixing it. And like I've done something wrong or I'm a bad person because I put a spelling mistake in there. You're going to find spelling mistakes through my stuff because I can't spell, but it's not stopping me. It feels like you need to fix things, like you need to fly in like this superhero and make it all right for people. That's definitely the rescuer. The language that you'll feel the rescuer here, recognize the rescuer use is, what can I do to help? Constantly just wanting to fly in and help people. I'll do it for you. Here, sit down, relax, put your feet up, let me do everything. And you're running around like a blue-ass fly and you really need some help, but you won't ask for it because you've got to make sure everybody else is okay. Feeling like a failure, I'm a failure sometimes when you're a rescuer because you put everybody else's needs in front of your own. And I need to fix this or him or her in relationships. We pick the people that need to be fixed. And it's a recipe for disaster. And we pick the people with potential. So this can help in all areas of your life. But sharing, that process for me that I went through internally, being able to recognize where I was at and what it meant. And then the answer, the truth, the key was when I was walking along the beach in the morning and I had all these crazy voices, persecutor going like this at me and the other people, victim going like this to me and then flicking that over to the other people and feeling bad for them. And then the other voice was like trying to rescue me and make it all right and do my tapping and do the thing and trying to make decisions to rescue them because they were going through a tough time as well. So these voices were overwhelming. I was confused. I was tired. I was and I thought I learned about this drama triangle and I'm pretty clear about the persecutor, the victim and the rescuer. And I'm pinballing between all of them right now, like a crazed pinball or ping pong thing, hitting, coming up and down and round about. And then I thought, what's the answer here? I was taught about the drama triangle and what role I played in each relationship. However, I never really got what I could do to get out of the drama. get out of the drama triangle. I was like, either they didn't share that at the course of the seminar or the book that I read, or I didn't hear it, which was beautiful because it gave me this opportunity in that moment walking along the beach. Well, what is my path out of this drama? What is my path out of this emotional charge to these things that I have perceived happen to me? And I was walking along the beach trying to do my tapping. I couldn't concentrate. My brain's telling me, you're so disciplined. You just need to be disciplined right now to do the tapping to feel better. The other part of my brain's like, sit in the pain. Let yourself feel the pain. Come on, let the pain come up. Be disgusted in yourself. Do the shadow work. So I'm in quite the state down on the beach in the morning, tapping like this. Oh yeah, hit like glitching. No, it wasn't that bad. And I just thought to myself, what's the answer here? Because I'm going to share this with people soon, and there's no answer. It's just like around and around the roundabout we go, around and around the triad we go. And I was like, the answer's here, and it's within me right now. The answer is truth and presence. If you are in this place of truth and presence, you're not getting drawn into people's drama. If you are true with yourself and you have higher power and higher connection come through in connection with higher self, there's no need to persecute anybody. There's no need to be a victim or victimize somebody else. There's no need to rescue other people because you've got everything you need inside of you right now. So when we're searching for this external validation, so I was like, that's the key. The truth and presence you hear me talk about, and I talk about it in depth over there in the fear neutralization process, where I explain the fear and the positive and the negative. This feeling of truth and presence, my mission, my duty is to bring you home, to help you have a homecoming to yourself, the remembering of who you really are. If you are connected to that, if you are in that, you're not going to get called into this drama triangle. So what I invite you to do is look at the several most profound and prolific, I don't know if that's the right word, but 7 most closest relationships in your life. Usually it's our mum, our dad, our siblings, our partner. And I want you now to pick one person. And I want you to tell me, knowing this now, or write down in your journal, what is their dominant state? Are they a persecutor? Are they blaming? Are they dominating? Or are they a victim? Do you see that they're always in victim? Or are they the rescuer that just are altruistic and try and come in and help where help is not really wanted? So I want you to do that. And I want you to do it for the first person and a second person and a third person. So you're going to have 3 names down there. And then you're going to write down what trait they are most of the time in the drama triangle, the dominant state. And then what I want you to do is put a column for you. What are you most of the time? Actually, before we do that column, I want you to pick what you mainly are, because then you are these things in relation to that person. Because it's like this dynamic that if this person changes, and I know Gus won't mind me sharing this with you, but we've had some hard times around here, and especially with him losing his job and everything. And there was a day that he had enough, and he was annoyed and he was tired, and in his way was persecuting. It was still sweet and gentle and nice because he is, but I felt like I go into victim very quickly. And then I was at the point, I was at my threshold, and I met him back. Usually I just go into victim and I stay there. I'm not good enough, and I didn't do it well enough, and I'm not a good wife, and I'm a shit mum, and all the thing. I don't need much help going into victim most of the time until I learned this information. So I found myself go there, and I didn't realize this at the time until I looked back and dissected it later. I met it with persecutor energy, which I don't usually because of my conditioning and my patterning. And because I was at my threshold, I met it with persecutor energy. And straight away, he went into rescuer. Because I was persecuting, he went to rescuer and became nicer and was trying to help me. And when I dissected that later, I thought, oh, that's so interesting, because there's been previous interactions in our relationship that if I go into victim, he'll stay in persecutor. So the power is in, one, recognizing your dominant state, what the people around you's dominant state is, and that you don't actually have to be any of them. And you can flick in and out of them, but I want you in your interactions with people and yourself to know and understand and acknowledge where you're at in the drama triangle. Because if you can have that deep awareness and that deep connection with yourself, you're not going to be feeling these feels of being angry and blaming and dominating. That's like a tight, constricted energy. Or this energy down here with your head down that's not a beautiful, resourceful, loving energy either, just feeling like crap all the time and like you've always done the wrong thing. And then this guy over here, he's just exhausted because he's running around altruistic doing for everything. It's all the mask that we wear to protect ourselves. And it's okay, but I just want to shine some light on it and awareness on it so you can choose a different path. So you can come home to this place of truth and presence and have some really even more deep, grounded relationships with yourself and with those closest to in your life. When you start to do that, your business relationships will change. The external, further away relationships will change. And I can guarantee in your relationships, I think relationships are one of the hardest parts of life. They can be the most blissful, amazing, beautiful, dynamic, cool, and fun thing. But on the flip side of the scale, they can be the most hard, excruciatingly painful, sad, challenging as well. As far as this end of it goes in bliss and amazingness, it goes off in this exhilarating to excruciating. So you get to choose, and you can find a middle ground and a middle path where you just dip into these things every now and again and spend less time over here in infatuation and fantasy and positive affirmations and all that, and less time over here in desperation and feeling unworthy and not good enough and all the negatives. And then we bring yourself home to your heart and your higher self and your connection. We combine that with the strategy and the science of the spreadsheets that I've got coming for you, the visual models. I just want to show you something before I go. This is how that drama triangle started. I was just sitting down one day, it was flowing through me. Here, that's it. That was one. I number them all and then I keep them in a folder. So I want to show you this for the business people out there. And two, I drew it first. For the business people out there, looking at all these visual models, looking at the videos, and really admiring the way that this is done, that's how it starts. And I've got the spreadsheet, I think. Yeah, this is how my spreadsheets start, literally on the back of a piece of paper. This is another model that I'm doing. These were some other ideas that I was having as I was, so that's how it starts. Please don't let not knowing stop you. The drama triangle will absolutely change your life. You just got to commit to understanding and going deep, taking off these masks, being seen and doing the work. You're in the perfect place to do it. I'll see you over there in the next lesson.